I'm not going to eat it.
Engine food.
I mean, if you have to throw any of that away, you just let me know.
Just let them know.
There's a little bit upstairs. So.
It's okay. It's good, actually.
There's a little rice and curry up
It's
there.
pretty good though, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so welcome back to the Dunhallow Mystery. This is I believe, our 8th and 9th episode for tonight.
Oh, 7 and 8.
Maybe it's 7 and 8? Yeah, I guess it is. I just uploaded 2 episodes last week. I don't know.
I think you're right.
7 and 9.
I think, Mike must be right.
Five
I've only listened to him several times.
Oh, that's right. So who here listened to last week's episode? No? Okay. That's
No,
okay.
I'm the only one that didn't.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
feel bad. Nobody on
No,
the
don't
side
feel
of
bad
the
at all. So, well, last weekend was pretty exciting.
What?
Right.
Anything?
What?
What?
Yeah,
I mean,
what-
I had a
what-
pretty chill weekend. I didn't really do anything.
What did you guys do over the
I
weekend?
mean, I played a lot of video games.
I went to a convention.
I went to a convention.
Drank a lot of rum.
Oh, yeah, we drank a lot of rum. That's
Yeah.
my birthday.
So, for those who are watching or listening, I'm going to raise something up. This is Zweihänder, which we created. It won the Ennie's Gold for Best Game and Product of the Year. Adam and I went to Gen Con. We drove 7.5 hours to Indianapolis and accepted the award and kicked ass. And it wasn't for all of you, we wouldn't have got there. So it's all of our awards. Pretty fucking cool.
And didn't know you were going to get it either.
No, had no
No,
clue.
no clue.
No,
Right.
no. I don't think anybody else did. We're like, I didn't at least.
A silver, maybe.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was hoping for. Like game of the year, maybe silver.
What was the other one?
Product of the year.
Product of the year.
That was like the
best
big
game.
one. I was like, oh man, it'd be great if we could get it, but just to be nominated is kind of sweet.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't think, because I think when we last met, like, we weren't really anticipating.
No, we didn't even really
We're just
mention
like,
it, did we?
oh, it's an honor, but then we said we really want to fucking win. And,
Right, as you're driving there, you really want to win.
And those, I guess, who listen cast their votes. So thank you for those of you who are listening or watching the Dunhallow Mystery on YouTube. Speaking of which, we are now on iTunes. We're naturally on Podbean. We have an RSS feed, and we were just accepted to Google Play. So as of tomorrow, you can find episodes of the Dunhallow Mystery on Google Play. Yay. So you can listen to it on your phone while you're at work if you don't have access to internet, or if you're the people you work for, terrible fascist overlords don't let you surf the internet. So I don't know anybody here who works for some terrible fascists doesn't let you listen to the internet. Oh, we won't say your name. Nick backwards. Nick. So, some other... That's right. Some other cool things that happened. Got to meet... I had a Twitter exchange about a couple months ago about Zweihänder with Joe Manganiello. I think is how you pronounce his name. He's the guy from True Blood. He's on How I Met Your Mother. He's on a bunch of stuff. We met up, gave him a copy of Zweihänder, took a picture, talked D&D, hooked me up with this sweet Death Saves jacket. So, those of you who are listening or watching, fucking buy Death Saves. It's pretty badass. I think they ran out of the Lord Soft shirts pretty quick, but overall it's pretty cool. He's at Margaret Weiss's booth. Any of you read Dragonlance when you're younger? Yeah. Time of the Twins, Test of the Twins. Raceland, what was Raceland's brother's name?
Stern?
Brightblade?
No, it's one of them.
He was not Tannis Half-Elf.
We're going to get crucified by all the nerds now.
Yes.
You mean everybody around this table?
Yeah.
You didn't know the name.
That's right.
I withdraw myself from the conversation.
That's right.
Our Grubhub was late. That's why we're eating.
That's right. So, speaking of cool stuff at Gen Con, Adam and I had an opportunity to run a game. Actually, Adam played, I ran.
That's right.
We ran, I won't say the adventure's name because it's going to be on Ross Payton's podcast here soon. For those who are Patreons of Role Playing Public Radio, we ran a game of Zweihänder for them on Saturday night. They recorded it. It's going to be up toward the end of the month, so that's kind of cool. And speaking of Ross Payton, while we were out in Gen Con, we saw a tabletop action role-playing game called Rumble Slam, I think. Ross, if you're listening, you probably know what I'm talking about because I seem to recall when we were walking to the convention you said, and I quote, "It's not that good." I took note of that. And the reason I take note is because we're actually got some kind of exciting news here for Grim Perilous Studios. Walter, who sits on the end, say hello, Walter.
Hi.
Who you probably have seen a couple times in videos, heard from at least. he's working on something pretty cool right now that we're going to try to help him out with called King's Road Wrestling. It's a role-playing game. It's casual. It's a role-playing game, and it's played with cards, which is kind of a novel concept. No dice. It's kind of like a combination of Uno and poker, like mechanics, and hopefully see something maybe mid-October.
That's the hope, actually. Yeah, it's coming live with a wrestling promotion, actually, of the same name, weirdly enough.
In Kansas City!
Yeah, so it's not like bad backyard stuff. This is the real thing. So we're live-action role-playing at its finest.
I'm excited. That's right. So we oftentimes, when we talk about Grim Imperial Studios, and by studios, Grim Imperial Studios, I mean literally this fucking dungeon that's slowly being built around us. As a matter of fact, I've been framing in this back wall. The basement will come together eventually. But we kind of talk about, when we talk about Grim Imperial Studios, we're talking about literally us, the role players, the people who have been playing this Zweihänder game and now Main Gouge for quite some time. And we think about it from the perspective, we think about it from the perspective of almost being a skunk works of sort. We have a lot of kind of ideas that come out of it. Some take, some don't. I think King's Road is definitely going to be something that takes and be exciting to work on. So we're pretty hyped to be working with Walter on that, and look for something in mid-October. We'll see what comes out of it. Be pretty neat. So another bit of exciting news before we get started. So Peter, I can't remember his last name. He's from across the pond. He's the Garblog Games. He's been running a Warhammer podcast for quite some time. We are going to partner with him, it sounds like. He's going to run some Zweihänder games, which will be super cool. They're kind of in a weird place where they're like moving from 2nd edition to 4th edition. They have kind of this gap. So we're hoping that he's going to run a little bit of Zweihänder for us and put it on his video stream, his podcast, which will be neat. He's going to be running actually if the stars align, if everything comes together like we're intending and hope it does, he will be running our playtest adventure from Main Gouge. And Main Gouge is kind of the what we've been talking over the past 48 hours. New Kickstarter, new book,
right?
More stuff, more Zweihänder, more chaos.
How's that Kickstarter going, by the way? Have you seen any success?
Oh, it's funny you should ask, Walter.
Nice
It's
layout.
almost like this was scripted. What? Did you read your cue card? That was not a cue card for the listeners or those who are watching. But
Walter's just a smart marketer.
yeah, that's right. So we started the Kickstarter, I believe, at the witching hour on Monday, and now it is Thursday. Was it Monday or Tuesday? No, it was on Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, the witching hour, almost Wednesday morning. I woke up. We asked for $13,000. We blew that number out of the water the first day. We have so far knocked out 2 stretch goals. We're at 28,000, I think, the last time I checked.
Yep.
So that means we have the injury and mishaps cards, which are awesome. So
Otherwise known as boo-boos.
That's right. Boo-boos was because we hid all the stretch goals. The first stretch goal was called boo-boos with a little card diagram. That's injuries and mishaps. So that's essentially entries to your character. It'll be on a nice little card. We got some really cool stuff that Ken Duquette's actually working on for us, or Ken Duquet. Ken, forgive me, or Jan, as I called you recently.
I noticed.
Yeah, Jan. It's something about my computer just wants to autocorrect to Jan. But sorry, Kenneth. Sorry, Kenneth, as your mother calls you. He's working on the layout for that. And he's also working on layout for Main Gouge. We're really excited about the injury cards because have you seen that medieval drawing of what's called the Injured Man? I think he has like all those weapons sticking out of his body and stuff. It's like from medieval manuscripts.
Yeah.
He's like naked. It has like hammers and knives and swords all plugged into him. Actually, I'll probably put it up on the video once I edit this. We're going to use that as the kind of basis for the front side of the injury cards. And we're going to...
That's great.
It's neat. And then in Main Gouge, we have vehicle combat, which plugs into just normal combat without any fuss or house ruling. And we're going to do the mishap cards in the same sense because vehicles, as those who have backed Main Gouge will know, that we have vehicle combat, and as vehicles and animals get hurt, they suffer mishaps. So this is our first stretch goal. We knocked it down pretty quick.
How many cards are in that add-on?
72, I think. Well, all the injuries, all the mishaps. So I don't do math very well. Walter is our math resident. So Walter, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What's 12 times 6?
That's 72.
72! I nailed it!
Yeah.
Okay, so 72 cards in the injuries and mishap thing. Shill. You guys know what's going on here. I'm talking about Zweihänder and Main Gauche. The second stretch goal we blew out of the water today was for the new magic in Main Gauche, which everyone around the table has played with, and it's very amazing. It is demonic. So that's super cool. This is stuff we couldn't fit in Zweihänder because it's a big book, and now we've got this other
So big.
other book, other thing.
Not quite as big, but
Big.
pretty big.
It's a lot of pages.
Was it metal? Was it Heavy Metal, that movie? Big.
Yes.
I am Dar. Whatever his name was. He was like John Candy's voice.
Yes,
He played like
yeah.
he looked in his loincloth.
Yeah. He's like, big.
So that's Zweihänder, and Main Gauche will not be nearly as large. But what I think is cool about it, because I wrote most of it myself, and Tanner wrote some of it too. But all of us kind of concepted around the table what that Main Gauche is, and essentially it's kind of a code word for the left-handed path. It's also the name of a left-handed dagger, although we are butchering the language, which...
Main Gauche?
That's right. Mongouche. Just
Mongouche?
like we pronounce it Zweihänder. We pronounce it Main Gauche, because we're in Missouri, and that's just what you do.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah. That's
I
right.
know, I hate Missouri.
Well, it is part of the brand of Grim Imperial Studios to butcher Germanic language. Now we're butchering the French language. So
Okay.
if any of our listeners or watchers have any ideas for the next word or weapon we should use for our next book, and if we can completely butcher, I don't know, Portuguese. But,
Hola.
I don't know.
It's actually a fine tradition for English people too to butcher
That's right.
French words on purpose.
That's right.
I actually,
Butcher the Portuguese
when
word
I
for
was in
butcher's knife.
Vancouver, our English host pronounced the author Albert Camus while we were up there.
Nice.
When discussing literature.
Camus.
Albert Camus.
Yeah, so in Warhammer obviously took a lot of punny names out of Germanic names, and we kind of continued the tradition with Zweihänder and now Main Gauche, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, the Kickstarter's up now. If you look below in the video description, or if you're listening, you'll find a link. It's just look for MAINGAUCHE, or simply go to GrimImperialist.com, where the whole host and library of Zweihänder and Main Gauche and all of its awesome kick-ass products can be found.
And
Or click on the link found right here.
That's right. Walter's
Magic.
pointing.
Movie
We
magic.
haven't earned enough monetization points yet on YouTube to actually put links in our
Oh, we
video.
haven't,
No, we're not there yet. So
We need to level
Don't
up.
click
we
there.
need to level up. That's right. We're hoping Kent will help us get us there. That's right.
We haven't given them enough money.
Oh shit! Last point. I forgot to mention this. So people are asking on the Kickstarter. They're like, "When are you going to reprint Zweihänder?" And the
We gotta
answer
ask
is, it depends on you. It depends on you. One of our stretch goals may, in fact, be the reprint of the limited edition of Zweihänder, the cover by Jussi Alahario. I'm butchering that too. I'm sorry, Jussi, for mispronouncing that. But we are looking to reprint this bad boy in all its Brotabengian glory. Massive. That's a Lilliputian that's right.
I actually had a guy from work go
Both
to
covers.
Tabletop and
Yeah.
asked them if they had any copies. Like, we're out.
Yeah, we're out. So I do have to give you a bit of bad news, though, guys. For those who are listening, guys and girls and gals and dudes and dudettes and cultists, our cultists, as we call our fans now. This beautiful cover, the spread that is done by Dan Mandich, or Mandick, if you saw the naughty parts on the previous art in the Kickstarter. This will never be printed again. I'm sorry. It's just never going to be printed again.
Good.
What was that?
Well,
it's the
it's a limited
exclusive.
Kick Edition version, and it would be Kickstarter edition. I think that people would feel like they had been robbed.
Mm-hmm.
I bought one. Man.
I know, right?
Bought two.
I don't even own one. Like literally. Okay, so the only copy I have of the original this Kickstarter edition is one that is
Broken?
broken and bound in tape. It's a table copy. So I know somebody would like just fucking die to have this, but I don't even have a copy. So I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, we are probably going to reprint this guy right here. It just depends on you, the backers. We're really hoping that you come through for us. Help spread the word on social media. Okay, shillery over. All right. So, let's talk about the Dunhallow Mystery.
But we're here to play a game.
We're here to play a game.
How many minutes into this podcast?
I know. I think we're like 10 minutes maybe, but that's okay. We're still eating and kind of settling in. And I'm doing it for, and just to make it clear for our listeners and watchers, we do this so that you can help pay for our pizza and Indian food on Thursdays.
Right. Or our Indian food on pizza.
That's right.
When does it actually start? Because I paid for my Indian.
Yeah,
food.
that's right. That's a goal.
We always pay for our own pizza.
Yeah.
It's definitely a goal.
We'll get there soon.
Yeah.
So thank you for your support and thank you for listening. Dunhallow Mystery. Just kidding. It's not over. We're gonna play actually. So what we normally do in this Zweihänder is we roll initiative first and foremost. We did that off camera so we can get started. Somebody had complained about dice clattering. We've put some filters in place on the microphone, so hopefully it'll help with that. We have made certain to unbag all of our food, so it's not so loud on camera or the mic. So we're trying to be better stewards of that. But every once in a while, when we meet here, it's right. Tim's going to shake the food.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
We're going to open pop cans. I'm sorry, that's not going to change. But for those who are watching, our camera setup's going to be a little different here in about a month. We're going to have like a real live setup with cameras on each of the players. We're all going to be mic'd up, and it's going to be badass.
Sounds badass.
Wow. That's right.
We'll have a whole new
Like, literally will
sound
sound
design.
badass.
Yeah.
We'll have a whole
Hear me
new sound
breathing.
design to go with
Awesome.
it that's going to mitigate a lot of those things and take them completely out of the mix. So.
And Kent will be using a Darth Vader voice in the new game too, so we're doing that.
I'll be strapping on the apparatus.
That's right. That he doesn't need a strap on.
Oh, good job. I am your father.
All right, so last session, last game on the Dunhallow Mystery. What happened? What did we do?
We arrived.
You arrived in Dunhallow Village. That's absolutely right. You had tore through the countryside on the back of on the coach. Do you remember what demarcated the wheel's edge in the barony?
2 big old trees that were made out of ironwood.
Petrified trees.
That's right.
Were they in a shape of a? Was it?
Almost like an
archway?
Not
shape?
not the golden arches.
No, one arch together.
YMCA, but yeah, they were old petrified trees. Yeah, ironwood grows in these thar hills, and for those who are tuning in again, in our game world Mahal, if you will, the trees that grow in the barony, some are old growth forests that have been petrified over the years, and the saplings which grow from that are called ironwood, and it is the riches of the Winterborne house, or Wesley's house.
The British oak equivalent, right?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. You wood bows.
Yep.
Yes, but only saplings grow, because we know what saplings are made into here, right? Because the ironwood trees do not grow large and strong; they only grow saplings, and those are turned into bows. BOWS, not elbows. But yeah.
Bow ties.
Bow ties.
Isn't that how you spell elbows with an EL?
That's right. So you came into Dunhallow. What happened next?
We met with
The mayor.
the provisional mayor.
Dindish.
Dindish Olmsted, that's right, in the town hall.
And he is quite the Quaker.
Yes, there is something that certainly stands out about the people here.
They're fervently religious, it seems.
We're simple folk, all right?
No, I would use the word fervently religious. They wouldn't pour Madame Krista a wine.
Who's need? Thank you very much.
They-
Like that makes a difference.
I
But
was gonna say. Okay.
Mead is honey wine.
That's right.
Not
They-
to be an actually guy, but
That's right. They were pretty practical, traditional, pragmatic people. They didn't really recognize Madame Krista as being an equal at the table, which is not surprising in a place so far flung from the rest of the cosmopolitan world known as Old Lork. But here they kind of move at their own pace, at their own speed, and they certainly seem to be in that old-time religion.
We briefly met Brother Dafid, who poured us some of their signature mead, I think it was, that they brew up there, and he seemed pretty pretty quick to remove himself from the conversation.
Yeah.
Then after that, we went down the way to see Dr. Harold Greystone, the doctor of the barony.
Yes.
Who was let go from the Baroness.
Yeah, and we opened up his door.
I opened up his door.
Yeah.
It's these people are simple. You can open their doors.
It was really our first major attempt to speak to someone who's not within Wesley's, I guess, circle of influence or social circle, who has to do with, or who's connected to Hugo Downing and the barony.
That's right.
And
So what is different about how Master Dindish Olmsted? What is different about Master Dindish Olmsted and Dr. Harold Greystone, save for their name and their situation? I think we revealed a clue last session.
We did
What's the clue?
pension and payoff clue. So we discovered that some people got pensions and some people got not just pensions but payoffs to basically keep their mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
And although Dr. Greystone was clearly off his rocker a bit, and he had an air about him as to like he was, of course he had nothing but good things to say about Hugo Downing and the man who's obviously paid him off, but he had an arrogance about him too, almost like he was, I'm a Downing man and I don't care if this is your barony or not, young man. I'm a Downing man. And he had an air about him that kind of led some of the people in the group to believe that he thinks that these guys are basically operating with impunity, and just think that they run the barony and pardon me.
And thus Cole was his charming self.
That's right.
I am playing a very Inspector Sherlock Holmes character. If I'm not using drugs, I'm coming down from those drugs, so I'm an asshole.
So
That is Sherlock Holmes.
so far, two major personalities two major characters have come up in the story, and that's Master Dindish Olmsted. Well, actually, three, I guess. We didn't really learn much about Brother David Holmes yet, but Dr. Harold Greystone and Mr. Hugo Downing. You feel any of these are your potential allies? Maybe people should further investigate? What do you think?
So we know that Dindish, well, at least Harrison knows that Dindish Olmsted served in the military at some point. You can kind of tell by his the way he carried himself or something like that. And he confirmed that with him. He didn't seem to want to elaborate on that per se, but if we're going off our clue, Olmsted really isn't on the take, and the doctor presumably is.
The doctor is.
Yes.
There's no question. He's
I say presumably to make the story more exciting. We have not officially confirmed anything as of yet.
we got a clue.
Yes. That's right.
The mystery is solved!
All right, guys, back to Old Lark.
Well, the doctor mystery is up.
So, what did you learn about the Baroness from the doctor?
That no one's seen her in like 2 years, and she got bit by a dog? A rabid dog, it seems like?
We heard a lot of rumors and hearsay. It's nothing that we could officially confirm or deny. One of them being that the Baroness is wheelchair bound, yet people think they may have heard footsteps coming from her room in the evening.
When nobody should be there.
When no one should have been in that area of the
There was also
manor.
that she has kind of relegated herself from her servants. Like Hugo's releasing them. Like it's all written but signed by her. But is it truly signed by her? Which is something that Tuck and I were going to try and investigate tonight. We kind of ran out of time.
Sounds like she's been like sequestered or I guess quarantined for a better, for lack of a better term.
remains to be seen.
And no one can seemingly verify or validate that she
She's
even
even alive.
exists anymore. And we also learned that there's been some riders coming and going on and in and out of the property, the estate of the barony.
Oh, yeah.
In all hours of the night, late at night, early in the morning. But during the day, it's seemingly a derelict operation. Like you would think that no one's lived there for years because no one comes and goes. And it would seem that there's official business that still carries on, but there's no way of knowing who, how, where, when, and why, because apparently during the day it seems like it's a dead estate. So
And apparently there's riders in the night that patrol it.
Rolling, patrolling. So, alright. Well, I think that's a good setup here, guys. I seem to recall where we last left off. It was towards sundown, and somebody was heading toward the estate.
I thought we were huddling down the road.
Yes, that is right. It was towards sundown, and you were talking. You were walking down the road.
Well, I wasn't talking because I'm infested and been ordered specifically by the doctor to speak nothing.
That is right. That is right. It's Lord Wesley is suffering from infection.
Oh God, it's terrible.
You're not feeling haggard, but you're feeling kind of flu-like symptoms. Like you feel like you've got ginger ale on the brain. You feel a little bit loopy. Your stomach's a little bit off. You just feel kind of like you have these kind of aches, particularly where you were hurt by the bandit's knife.
That was an arrow.
Or an arrow. Yeah, where you got shot.
Yeah.
You used to be a lord, so you got shot in the knee. Yeah. I used to be the Lord Wesley Winterborne. That meme's pretty old at this point, but still funny.
It's an old meme, but it checks out.
It does, it does. So you were walking down the way that is sundown. You remember Dr. Hugo Downing, the physicker, is what his actual title would be. A physicker is one who tends to the physical ailments of people in ways that are considered to be potentially heretical. Regardless, you are kind of walking down this dirt road away from his shop, which literally is where he keeps business. Inside this old stone wheelhouse along the creek. This entire village kind of crisscrosses here and there, small rivulets, but there's a very deep branch of the river that runs through here. Not broad enough or deep enough to bring a merchant ship down here, but certainly easy enough for a barge or a flat or a small barge to pass through. But you've seen no such things. You do know that they obviously ferry wood down the river to Old Lork, and you have learned obviously that the roads between here and Old Lork are not trafficked. Not surprisingly, it is a river town, but they just typically take the river. But a lot of the people here seem to be of simple nature, gray off-color clothes, buckles on their shoes, tall steeple hats,
Quakers.
Monochromatic clothing. Yeah. Very prudence is the watchwords here with the women. Their dresses tend to dash the back of their heels, or kind of dust the back of their heels with the frayed edges, belted around the waist, and no flesh to be shown save for their pale hands and face. The menfolk are even I would say not well appointed, but are dressed to the point where they would not reveal their flesh either. This is not uncommon to find in small backwater villages in Aglador at all, but there is a sense of fervence among these people. In fact, every path you cross has some sort of wooden monument or ornamentation that would indicate that they are clearly deep followers of the Steward of the Covenant. The three covenants, the martyr, the steward, and the learner.
So, my lord, do we want to stake this man out? You can nod if you really believe that, like Quack.
My character would look at Madame Christophe, who's generally my, healer. So
Spiritual guide.
Madame Krista has been peddling the secret for years.
What can I do for you, my lord? I can do things to ease the pain and ease your mind, but what he suggested is, it may work, it may not. It depends very much upon your faith. If your mind is in the right space, then surely that wound will heal.
The sun is getting low. The sky is cast in colors of orange toward the west, where the sun is setting beyond the trees. The east is now, the vault of night is open and begins to twinkle with stars. The mirror is becoming gibbous, it is growing. The moon, the mirror.
So, there isn't any inn or tavern, is there? I mean, we just have to go back to where we stay and hope that there's more of that meat.
Yeah, it's the town hall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could go back to that town hall and, perhaps have a drink maybe, and then look over that them documents, as they say, and see about if they all match, or if there's something not proper about it.
We need older ones, so that's the problem.
There's only
If
one.
there's some barony records. Maybe we can find that. We can do some comparison from before this magistrate or barrister.
Yeah, I thought he said he had some older ones.
He said he had personal. He gave us letters.
Oh, nothing with the seal then.
That's right. The only public house that you know of actually is Master Dindish's town hall.
Right, which
Well,
Tis the only place to stay in this small village in the middle of nowhere.
so I suppose when we go up there tomorrow, we may have to look about a bit.
well, what I'm worried about is this man making his way there tonight to pre-warn him we're coming. Let's just say
Which
Gaunter
man?
and I were not very frank in our thoughts of him. We were not trying to hide that we do not believe this man. He is obviously on the take.
Well, isn't we supposed to? Oh, yeah.
Will you go to the public house? If not, where will you go?
Well, I think we're trying to decide if we follow this guy, but we're looking to the Lord. He's saying sleep.
Well,
Well, maybe someone we could case the place for a little bit and see if he leaves. What, the both of us? You want a third?
Well, it's gonna be me. I'm a little bit too jangly here. These spurs.
The Lord gesticulates with his
I
fingers, but
try to give instructions, but fail to give instructions with hands.
Tuck, you know him better than all of us, I would think, from childhood. Does that mean anything to you?
That means that he's a little frustrated with me for not understanding him.
the Lord clearly isn't able to gesticulate or explain exactly what he wants to do. He is simply abiding by Dr. Harold Greystone's orders.
Okay,
So it comes to you all to make the decision.
If I had to guess, I would imagine he's thinking that we do as we best see fit, and he'll take care of us in the morning as he sees fit.
Okay. What do you think, Tuck?
Oh, I bet
you
he.
want to watch the house for see if he leaves?
Yeah, I bet he was trying to say you do you.
In a manner of speaking, or not.
Have you ever heard the Lord say "you do you"?
I have, just not in front of others.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what is it you will do tonight?
I think we're gonna try and see if he leaves his house. Is that what we're doing? We're
Who is
stake out?
we?
Stage out for a little bit.
Who is we?
I think it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
That are the,
So,
yeah, no, my character. I mean, Leslie's
I am
going
not
back
good
to the
at
inn
this
to
either.
go
Two
to
sneaky
sleep,
bastards
basically.
stay, the rest of us go
Well,
to town.
is anybody good at following people without making noise?
Nope.
it's a very specific thing to ask.
Well, it's a very specific thing I plan on doing if he leaves. So yes.
I am good at reading people.
You're good at unlocking things.
I'm not good at
Wesker or whatever.
I'm not good at stalking, tracking. I don't know what
Yes.
I don't know what my lord's doing over there, throwing things around his head.
He's
Halos?
referring to my my prescription that the doctor gave me to wear a blanket on my head tonight as I sleep.
So, in order to move things along, who is going to watch the house? Will it be Tuck and...
Yeah.
Who else?
I think I should go back and look at the documents. You think divide and conquer, or do you want somebody here with you?
I don't like being by myself.
Yeah, but if we're trying to be sneaky, I mean, it's not exactly more the merrier in that scenario.
I can stay by
I mean,
myself.
that's this fella here's specialty. I mean,
well,
we don't want to throw you to the wolves or anything, but
The sun is now set.
all right, I'll stay. You all have fun.
just don't do nothing but follow, buddy. Don't need to be a hero. If you think something's amiss, you come get us.
No.
If he leaves, come
Now,
back to us.
I know you're new to this group, but have any of the rest of you lot ever thought of Tuckers and an hero in the same sentence?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, you don't have to worry about anything.
So
You
just
have no light left.
come back if the man leaves. That's it. Easy enough.
The lights are on in his home. The candles, at least. The candles are on in most
Yes, we just
of
had
the
a powwow in
villages.
front of
So
his house.
Talking about who was going to watch him.
We went down the street. We said that.
So who is going back to the public house?
I think all
I
of
am.
us.
Yeah, everyone but Tuck seems to be
Okay.
going back to the public house.
All right, so you all make your way back there, whereas Tuck, you're going to stake out the Dr. Greystone's home.
Yep.
You can hear crickets. Nighttime falls upon Dunhallow Village. A sliver of the mirror is visible against the night sky, but the sky is completely clear. It's full of stars. The entire northern sky opens up in autumn. Alcanic slightly switches its position in the now it's down the eighth layer of the zodiac, the 8th month of the year. You wait out in some behind bushes, behind a tree, just hanging out.
Behind the tree.
Okay. Nothing suspicious about that. Go ahead and make a stealth test. Stealth test is secret.
Okay. Alright, I've got a 50% chance because I am ignoring 3 skill ranks. And a 20. I think I will keep that. I don't know if it succeeds or not.
Okay. Alright. While Tuck is staking out Dr. Greystone's house, you all head back to the public house where you first met Master Dinge Olmsted, and you find that the place is not empty. In fact, most of the menfolk who have been working or laboring in the hills have come. You find shepherds, you find a few millers, you find a few foresters, party-looking fellows, but all of them dressed to hide their flesh, still covered in a sheen of sweat, their backs still kind of crusty with salt. But they have come to wet their whistles and to seek a meal, including their families. Women, children, all around here. And as you walk in, all eyes turn toward Lord Wesley and Sir Harrison Claviger. For a moment, there is a sense of a little bit of panic, as nobody here is wearing a weapon at all. As you're wearing weapons upon your waist, the whole place goes dead silent as you walk in.
Oh, slightly wave at them and look for Mr.
Mr. Olmsted,
Olmsted, yes.
Go ahead and make an awareness test. This test is trivial.
Awareness 45. That's a 98. And so that would be a failure.
Well, all eyes turn toward you two of you, and you both need to now make a challenging resolve test to withstand stress.
So 50, 40, 39.
40% chance to succeed. And I rolled a 52.
You want to reroll?
I do not.
Okay. You gain 3 corruption. And you suffer 10 mental peril. You see that Sir Harrison kind of freezes in place. He looks uncertain, unsure what to do, but the Lord Wesley is kind of rubbing his chin and looking around for a friendly face. You can all feel the tension kind of coming off of Sir Harrison, including the people who are watching you. A few of them go back to eating their meals, but they keep their eyes on you as you press deeper inside.
Harrison starts to fiddle with his sword belt a little bit and kind of like fidget with his weapons, which is probably not a good idea, but it happens.
Where is this Danish man? Danish. Hello, where's Danish?
You see a young man who looks... Well, he looks like Master Dendish if he was 25 years younger. You would guess he's probably in his mid to early 30s. He has quite a shock. He has no hair on his head at all, though, unlike his father. My father is resting. He told me that you come, Master Wesley. Lord Wesley, sorry.
Our Lord has been instructed by the doctor, as you would call him in this neck of the woods.
I see.
To not speak. And somehow this is supposed to heal him.
I've met your acquaintance. I am Sutter Olmsted.
Sutter, it's good to meet you. Ceol Marcus Marius II.
My father has apprised me that you have come to visit. This is fortunate. He smiles widely, beaming.
Well, your father had promised us accommodations.
Oh, certainly, yes. Of course we would provide lodging for Lord Wesley and his host. And to all of you, as he looks toward Madame Krista. You are all welcome here.
Yes, all of us. That would be pleasurable. I believe that our man Gaunter has a thirst, and I think we all could break our fast if possible.
My father has agreed to pay for your to see to your lodging for three nights. So your food and needs, he says.
That means food and ale?
Yes, Mr. Kildorf.
Thank you, son. Please make your acquaintance.
Yours as well. He at first he tries to reach his hand out, but then kind of recoils it, almost as if he remembers that you were missing your fingers. Perhaps he recognized you. There's kind of a sense of admiration. It's like you look at an adoring fan approaches. He looks to you, this well-known Blitzballer.
Which hand did he put out?
His right.
All right, I'll give him a wink and put out my right hand, which has all of its fingers on it. Give him a firm shake.
Pleasure to meet your acquaintance. You'll forgive me, I must attend to the other patrons. Actually, in fact, the place has returned to normalcy, knowing now that Sutter Olmsted has come within your company. They kind of keep their heads low on their food, and they continue to talk, but it's not nearly as lively as it was before.
I believe we would like to sup and then retire. It's been a long day, and the road was weary.
I'll see to your boots and to your clothes. Have a washerwoman take them. My wife Amelia.
All right.
If you've small clothes, we shall draw a bath.
What was Denish's son's name again?
Sutter, S-U-T-T-E-R.
Like some Sutter home.
I spelled that S-U-D-D-E-R.
Sutter Kane.
Well, I was thinking Sutter home.
You read Sutter Olmsted.
Yes.
And then what is the
letter
wife's name?
except
Amelia.
In the Mouth of Madness.
The washerwoman.
Something corner, something. It's not on the map. Yeah.
I just showed it to her not too long ago. So you got us staying in a common room there, fella, or what's the lodging situation here?
We have private rooms within the town hall. My father has seen to that you would have a private room for 2 by 2.
Oh, all right.
I would imagine 2, 2, 3, and 1, actually.
Milady, he has arranged for a room for your own.
That is most generous.
Lest you are handfasted to one of these gentlemen.
I am not. None of these men is mine betrothed.
Just so, he says. He smiles. Well then, I will see to your belongings, and Sir Harrison,
Yes.
if I may borrow you for a moment.
Okay.
He pulls Sir Harrison away. Sir Harrison, I know you are a knight who has earned your spurs,
Mm-hmm.
and know that it is an honor to make your acquaintance. But he looks toward your waist, and he kind of bites his lip for a moment.
Speak up, boy.
He is older than you. He's 30 years old. He
I don't
kind
care.
of he stops.
He's got his spurs. He's a boy.
He stops and he says, "We are a good civilized people. I feel that if you were to walk around as such, you will potentially invite trouble. We're not no trouble here."
I will invite trouble. Is that? I don't catch your meaning. Is this a threat? Is it a warning?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sir Harrison. I did not mean to dishonor you or your position. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said anything.
It is my charge to protect Lord Wesley, and I must do that with the tools of my trade.
Of course, Sir Harrison. I am sorry. Please, do it. Forgive me. He lowers his head and he holds his hands out.
No offense given. Think nothing of it.
Good. He nods and smiles.
After this sup, my lord, I will excuse myself to go to the task you put me on.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever this boy is with his what is his name again? The son.
Sutter?
Ah, yes, that is his name. Hopefully I will forget it again, and we can move back. We can get to the barony quickly, so we don't have to remember any of these people's names.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, back outside, nightfall. It's dark. It's quiet. The lights in Dr. Greystone's house flicker. The candles flicker until a few hours. Maybe 3 hours pass, and they wink out.
Where's
The night is growing long.
Alcanix in the sky?
It's probably about 11 o'clock. It's almost the witching hour. Nothing happens after nothing good happens after midnight, right, Tuck?
That's usually when I do most of my work.
Suddenly, the
Again,
doctor's
nothing
door
good.
opens, and you see him step outside. He turns around. He locks the door, and he begins making his way, not into the public house, but into the hills. He whistles as he walks. He grabs an old walking stick that's nearby his door, and he begins whistling as he... You see something. He looks at something in his waist that flashes in the moonlight that looks like a blade. He quickly sheaths it and continues walking up the hill into the woods.
I'm gonna wait until he disappears, and when he walked off, did he walk away from my position, like further past the house up the hill, or
No,
is
he
the hill
went-
like
He did not
pass
go
me?
toward the public house. He went up the hill away from you.
Away from me. Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait until he gets, out of earshot,
Sure.
and then I'm gonna go back to the public house.
Okay. Some time passes. Most of you have already retired. Some of you continue drinking, taking advantage of what Dunhallow has to offer those who have a deep thirst. Gaunter, are you drunk?
No, Gaunter's thinking about why Tuck's been gone so long.
Yeah. It's pretty late. Most of the people have retired from the public house, save for Sutter Olmsted, who continues to be behind the bar, but he seems to be nodding off. They seem to be accustomed to people being here so late. But nonetheless, he kind of rests his hand or his head on his elbow and kind of nods off every once so often, but he's trying to at least attend to your needs. Is anybody else up with Gaunter? No?
No, I would have just requested a candle.
I think I would have stayed up for Tuck's sake, just in case something came up.
Fair enough. Tuck comes in, bleary-eyed. He looks tired.
Oh, thank the Mata somebody stayed up.
We saved you a little something to eat, and there's some ale in that pitcher there. Mead, ale, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it's
Tis a
welcome.
mead.
It'll go down smooth regardless, huh, little buddy?
Well, thank you for staying up for me, but it's all something I did.
Maybe we should leave this for this conversation for another time. It is late, after all.
Go ahead and put a little, unless you got anything urgent and pressing, Tuck, why don't you, refresh yourself there, and I'll look over at Olmsted's son. This is, Bendish's boy, Sutter. Hey, Sutter!
He looks up and kind of rubs the sleep from his eyes. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Anything else I can get for you, Gaunter?
I think we're good.
Master Kildorf?
Good Lord, partner. You've been more than hospitable and kind. You look like you could use a little shut-eye. Why don't you go ahead and do what you got to do? I promise you, if any ne'er-do-wells step in after hours, we'll handle them.
So what they say about it out in the countryside, away from the big city, it's true. I saw so much more in the vault of the night sky than you ever do in look. It's amazing. Yes, it's absolutely amazing.
Roll a guile test. This test is going to be routine.
Routine guile. Okay. It's going to be 45. And a 13 will succeed.
Okay. He clears his throat. I will have to lock up. Sir, sure. Sutter nods and he walks over to the door and he latches it. He goes up to the lock and he doesn't throw the latch, he actually puts the key inside the door and clunk clunk, locking the door. Goes around, closes all the shutters, locks the shutters closed with his tiny little key. All the kind of folding glass windows. He latches the shutters. The shutters don't lock on the inside, it just kind of close.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, the public house grows quiet, save for the lot of you. He's at least left you a burning tallow candle on your table. The fire is dim, but it still burns.
But the soul still.
So he's retired for the night?
Yes, there's nobody else in here save for the three of you.
So I'm gonna be whispering, but for the sake of hearing it.
The only people who are in this place are likely Dendish, Sutter's wife Amelia, and his son. Nobody stays at the public house. They have their own homes to go to.
Yeah. I'm still gonna be quiet though, even though, but
Old habits.
yeah. So here's what I saw. I stayed there, the candles, they were on for a long time. Then they finally winked out. And oh boy, he goes up the hillside, all whistling like. He comes out, locks his door, and goes up the hillside. And funny enough, I saw a flash of light coming off his candle, whatever he was carrying, like it was a blade. So, you know me. I'm not going to follow somebody with a blade all by myself. That's what you lot's for.
Right.
So,
right.
So I came straight away. So if we wanted to go and see what was up there, we could, but probably not a good idea to do yet. I'll leave that to you. But you went up that hill, all right?
What do you think?
Well, I mean, who knows where he's at now, but it's good to know that he took off. Sounds like he left ready for anything too, so guess there might be more to this crazy kook than meets the eye.
Right.
Well, we certainly have an opportunity here, wouldn't you say? We could return to his home and wait for him to return.
True.
Confront him when he does.
Wait,
Where
well-
have you been in this evening?
What
Well-
sort of confronting are you talking?
Well, we know he's up to no good.
Yeah,
Off odd hours of the night, wandering through the wood.
Well,
I
You
guess.
see, if I came home and some lot had opened my door, was inside me house, and started being all mean like, even though he deserved it, you know, I might want to take a blade with me if I was going to do anything at night. I mean, you see what kind of plants and such he had outside his house. I mean, I hear tell. I mean, I'm not that type, but I'm you know that story about that one little girl who can only find a flower at night. I forget what it was. It was a fairy tale of some sort. Yeah, maybe he's going to find a flower at night and make some of his medicines.
He's whistling. You mentioned he was whistling.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe this is just an every night sort of thing. I'd say every day, but it's night.
I mean,
I'm willing to entertain the idea.
Sure.
But I think
I don't
perhaps
know.
we should talk to Cole about it and see what he thinks. If he seems to have a mind for this sort of thing.
We should definitely bring the inspector in on this, and we got to keep in mind that myself foremost, as I tend to lose my temper every once in a while, but this is Lord Wesley's land, and we should probably wait for him to get back into his wits and his right of mind before we go and do any barnstorming.
Well, I wasn't necessarily suggesting that we storm the castle, so to
New
speak. But
profession.
as I said,
The barnstormer.
we have a unique opportunity here for confrontation.
Well, I hear you.
Catch him with his pants
So
down,
what are
so
you
to
thinking?
speak.
You thinking we should go try and find him where he's at now, or maybe go do a more thorough rummaging through his stuff at his house while he's out for the night?
No, I wouldn't condone breaking into a man's house, but I would question
So-
what sort of man leaves his house in the middle of the night and goes doing who knows what with presumably a blade in hand, off doing to no good.
Everyone needs to make an eavesdrop test. Let's see how quiet you're being. This
Probably
test
not
is secret.
eavesdrop.
One moment here
Good
before you
call.
roll. Pause.
I was getting rather animated, wasn't I?
Sir Harrison's not known for being quiet.
Reacted.
Hmm?
Your reaction towards your weapon.
Oh.
Okay, Tuck, make your test, please, first.
Okay, secret eavesdrop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 47. I rolled a 98.
Want to reroll that?
Do you guys want me to reroll that?
Your call.
I'm being really quiet.
Go ahead. Duck's had a few too many ales.
Tuck hadn't had any
Look at
yet.
this way. If it was trivial, we just succeeded.
Yeah.
Where's the M&Ms? You
True.
have that. Is there no Rolos?
Where's the M&Ms?
They're down
I'll just take this for my own. It's okay. We're good.
They're down here next to Kent.
Okay.
Well, 53 is better, but that's
You
still.
wanna keep
yeah, well,
Okay.
You got it.
Tuck, make your test.
I just
It's a
did.
secret test, so treat it as standard. So let us know your chances for success.
Gunter roll.
Sorry, Gunter. Gunters.
What kind of a modifier does secret have?
Just
to my-
plain.
Just
Treat it like a standard test. You don't know the modifier at all. I
tell
do.
me your
Okay,
chances
got it.
to
Okay,
succeed.
gotcha.
You only know if you succeed or fail if you crit.
So let me know your chances for success.
42.
Mm-hmm.
Fail.
Well,
Or
that's
80,
an
sorry,
82.
82, my bad.
82. Do you want to take that or you want to re-roll?
I'll take it.
Okay. Okay, Sir Harrison, make your test.
I have a 47% chance to succeed. And I rolled a 19.
Nice.
I will keep the roll.
Okay.
The guy yelling.
You all pause for a moment as you hear a clattering in the kitchen.
I immediately stopped talking. Is the kitchen a one-room ordeal with no exits?
It is
One.
a swinging door, as most kitchens would be in such a place.
Yes. But I mean, is it the one exit out into the common room, or is there a back door that I'm
There's
aware of?
one exit into the common room, but you don't know if there's an exit outside. But from the kitchen, you have no clue.
Everybody can look at your fucking mess.
I'll get up and
No.
and start slowly walking towards the kitchen.
Okay.
I'm trying to do kind of like a menacing walk
Clink.
with the jingle. Clink. Jingle.
Okay.
Jingle.
Make an intimidate test. This will be trivial.
Okay. So my intimidate is 48%. Okay, so with trivial, it's going to be a 78% chance to succeed. And that is a 62%
Okay.
success.
You approach the door. What will you do?
I'm listening to hear if anyone's moving around.
You can hear movement inside.
Okay. I'll push through the door, continuing the slow.
As you walk in, you see the light of a hearth beginning to dim. And there's a woman, pale as a sheet. Not because she is scared, but because her skin is flawless like ivory. And she's holding up like this big barrel that she's just emptied full of water. And you can see that your cloak and your clothes have been hung up on to dry in here near the fire. And she drops the wooden basin and its water splashes all over.
Pardon me, madame.
She says.
We didn't mean to disturb you. We keep on hours, you see, but
She shakes her head. I am so sorry. I did not. I keep on hours as well. She approaches slowly in the light, and you can see her. She has this brown, thick hair that falls and curls to her shoulders, and she has these big doe eyes. This could only be the washerwoman. This must be Amelia Amelia Olmsted.
were you privy to our conversation in the other room? I'm scrutinizing her.
To see if she's lying?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. Go ahead and roll a scrutinize test. This test is secret.
Okay. Percent chance to succeed is 47. I rolled a 78. I'm going to re-roll.
Misfortune. Her name is Misfortune. Miss Fortune. Misfortune.
And this time I rolled a 20.
What's your chance to succeed?
47.
Okay, you want to keep it?
I'll keep it.
You roll a 20?
Mm-hmm.
She says, I didn't even hear anyone was still awake. She said that I heard you walk in and you scared me. She says incredulously.
Do I believe her?
Why would she lie?
Very well. We apologize. We were just heading off to bed and didn't know anyone was still up. We'll try to keep a little bit quieter tomorrow night.
My husband said that there were travelers. You must be
Sir Harrison.
Sir
Claviger.
Harrison, she says.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Amelia.
Pleased to meet you, Amelia.
Indeed, you do keep late hours. I ought to keep late hours myself. Work is never finished around here. I can never seem to catch up.
Harrison kind of nods awkwardly and jingles his boot a little.
Well, now, go on. She waves you out. Shoo. You're not supposed to be in here. She smiles.
Yes.
Big red ruby lips.
Yes, ma'am. I leave.
At that point, after walking kind of towards the threshold where he's at and maybe picking up on a little bit of the tail end of that or some of it, could I maybe step into the doorway and say, howdy, ma'am?
She has a huge water basin in her that she's holding, and the front of her clothing is wet, where clearly Sir Harrison had scared her, and she smiles and she says, you must be the other one. Are you a dish monkey?
Oh, no, ma'am. Please accept my most humblest apology. My name is Gaunter Kildorf.
Well, Mr. Kildorf, unless you intend to wash dishes, your place is out there, not back here.
Well, I'll tell you what now. I'm sorry, what was your name, miss? Or missus?
I am the housekeeper. I'm Amelia.
Well, I grew up traveling and pitching in and doing my fair share, helping Mom and Pop. So if you need a hand, I wouldn't mind one bit. I'll chuckle and
She smiles and says, I think I have a handle on it.
all right. Well,
Her eyes come toward your left hand, and she looks back toward you, not trying to betray that she is looking.
I'll say, well, then I suppose we could leave it to you. But I couldn't help but overhear you say to my associate here that you keep odd hours such as us, and well, being that we're not from around here and you are, maybe you could enlighten us as any nightlife that'd be going on, or what maybe some of these fine, well-to-do fellers may do.
Well, unless you enjoy watching candles melt the night away while everyone else saws logs, I'm afraid you're not going to find any entertainment here, Mr. Kildorf.
All right. Well, entertainment or whatever else, I suppose, for an older, well-to-do, more refined gentleman, there's absolutely no good reason to be out of your house right now, would there be?
You can see yourself in the common room, Mr. Kildorf. I have this under control. Thank you.
Very well, man.
Back into the common room you are, along with Tuck.
Oh, I'm gonna catch me some 40 winks. That's it for the night. See you in the morning. I go off to bed and put a blanket over my head.
Yeah.
I'll stay for another mead with Tuck and just, kind of, after looking in my cup for a minute there, maybe say to Tuck, well, buddy, we may not know what he's up to, but I think it's pretty clear that it's not a very common thing what you witnessed him do. So we need to definitely make sure that's one of the first things that we apprise Lord Wesley of when he's about his wits in the morning.
Right, because Lord Wesley would be the type to pay attention to what they say was up that hill earlier.
Do you intend to stay up all night, gentlemen? She says after an hour has passed. It is now the witching hour.
Well,
Perhaps you can talk the night away in your own room?
well, ma'am,
I do have things to clean, as you see plates and dishes everywhere in the common room.
Without a word, Tuck will get up and go to his room.
I intend to catch me some shut-eye too, ma'am. I appreciate you putting up with us. You have a nice evening.
She nods. She picks up the nearest dish and puts it on a platter, and as you walk upstairs, you go back to your rooms. Those who stayed up late will be restored to imperiled. Everyone else...
Does that include me?
Yes. Everyone else goes to unhindered. The next day comes. It is now day 5.
I wanted to spend some time this morning looking through the documents.
Certainly. Yeah, out of curiosity, who is shacked up with Cole? Which one of you?
Probably Tuck, because we were going to go through the documents.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
When you awaken that morning, Tuck's he's still a little tired. But as you look through the documents, everything looks proper to you. Roll a counterfeit test.
No, wait a minute. You need to look at
This test is secret.
You need to look at the color near the stamp where the implement goes in the ring.
It's an assist, so add an assist die.
Oh, does it matter?
It's a secret test.
Alright, I have a 63% chance. Well, I succeeded on both. So
What does succeed on both? Secret test. You don't know if you succeeded.
What's
or
the
not.
lowest?
38. 63.
63 is your chance, and you roll.
38.
You gonna keep 38?
Yes.
Okay. Well, after looking over these documents and not really knowing what the Baroness's signature looks like, everything here looks very official. In fact, there are words in this document that are not commonly you would not find to be commonly used around here. They're clearly legalese, and a lot of it.
Yeah, we've got to find something from before this Hugo map.
Well,
There's no question. That's what we've got to find.
it might have
Her
been...
signature, I would like to note on this, however, the signature is a bit jagged. Like the person was either has poor penmanship or just has difficulty writing.
Well, it may be a bit harder to.
Everything else is in perfect cursive.
Perfect cursive, but the signature does look different. It actually looks like different writing.
Yeah. This is the Baroness's signature.
Looks like two forms of writing.
Yes.
That does look like two forms of writing.
Well,
That's like that is what you would want to do if you were counterfeiting.
Well, also, if you was old and you didn't want to spend all day penning something, you'd have someone pen the document for you, and then you just,
Right.
sign it away.
Have you ever seen a prescription from a visitor?
One thing we noticed last night, when I was staying up, I noticed that the doctor, he left late at night. He was whistling, he locked his door, he had a blade on him, I think, and he walked off toward the hill.
So he walked off towards the barony.
Well, if the barony's on the hill, yes.
Well,
I can't.
the direction towards was it the opposite direction towards this place, the public house?
Right.
Well, that would be the opposite direction. There's only two directions here, it seems.
Well, I can't remember
Because
everything.
you can't get across the river.
I can't remember everything.
Well, yes.
I just know it's up the hill.
Just up the hill.
Well, yeah, away from where we are now,
Okay.
the common house.
Well, maybe we can figure out where this barony actually lies. Maybe that's where this person was going.
Yeah. So if we, if we need to find some
But
documents.
a weapon. He had a weapon on him.
Well, overlaid. I mean, he could have been cutting some plants.
I mean, they harassed Sir Harrison last night, and he's a knight.
Yes, but he's not there now.
I'll knock heavily upon their door.
Oh. Maybe we took too much time. Let's go see if our lord is ready.
Everyone else is awake and downstairs already, save for Madame Krista, who was summoned to go fetch you from your room.
We're sorry. I mean, Madame Krista, the lord wants us.
Don't apologize to me. I'm not the host. I say as I'll lead them downstairs.
Oh. What, these bunkins sent you?
Yeah,
Or did the lord send you?
I don't think their knees can take the stairs as well as they used to. Come on, you're being.
It's all that kneeling towards the gods, I guess.
You're being asked for.
The doctor, was I supposed to only speak for
Until sunup.
until sunup? Okay.
Yeah,
So
when you wake up, you're feeling pretty pecking.
Yeah. I'm looking at the maggots, trying to pop them or whatever it was I was supposed to do.
You're supposed to pop the maggots the next morning. That's correct.
Yes.
You can see that your wound is kind of congealing, kind of various colors. The pus is kind of brownish. It's really painful. It's incredibly painful. You can see that radiating around the wound. You can see the little kind of radiation of the veins around it. Like, it looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
It looks bad. It looks really bad.
Looking a bit phlegmatic this morning, my lord. I think that's the word.
Nothing but a good leeching won't fix.
Well, that's what we're supposed to go back this morning again, aren't we?
I believe, yes. We definitely want to go there before we head off to the manor home.
I can't tell any difference. These documents look to be tip-top.
You've already broken your fast at this point, we'll assume.
I imagine that they will, since we have nothing to reference them to. But
As we said yesterday.
Well,
it is good that you had a good look at them.
Wesley, and to kind of fast forward things, I will recap what I've already said about 2 or 3 times already.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I relay the information
Okay.
again quietly.
I'm trying to draw upon my survival and skill, and would I know that trash pandas are nocturnal?
Right, yes you do. Raccoons are nocturnal, indeed, yes. He must be a were-raccoon.
He did say that he studied those raccoons, or trash pandas as he called them. I believe those are nocturnal animals. Perhaps he was going to look upon them? Or some flower? But I don't know.
We can speculate all day long.
Right, it's possible. I just, thought I would.
It's very good. I thank you, yes.
You're welcome.
Upon hearing Tuck's story, I have a pretty decent knowledge of plants and herbalism. And outdoor things. Does it sound like he would have been going with a knife to cut a night blooming plant, perhaps?
Possibly. We can either confirm or deny that, even with the skill test.
I mean,
There's only one way to find out.
Ask.
Well,
I have no problem asking this man.
But you do know that certain plants do grow at night. And
Perhaps-
certain plants grow during the day, particularly for someone who had such things that grew around his house, all the herbs and the different flowers and things that were hanging in his inside of the interior of his shop. You recall there was like a rich herbaceous smell, some pungent, some sweet. They were drawing amid the rafters. There were quite a few herbs, in fact, so it would certainly fit the profile. But if that's what really happened, you can't. The skill doesn't want to reveal that.
The only thing I can truly note here is this man is of no small means, with ample time on his hands as well. Why would he search out a wild plant when he could grow it himself in ideal conditions at that?
That's a good point and well made, but we should go get his wounds treated, and we can.
I think yes, agree. But I also think that we should keep this under our hat. We don't want them noticing that we're investigating them. But do keep
Very
your
well.
eyes out for any fresh drying herbs.
Very well.
That would give us some good indication of something that wasn't there last night.
I don't know anything about herbs, so hopefully, Madam Krista, you can.
I'll be able to smell them.
Indeed. But yes,
My thought is the reaction towards your weapons last night, and this man carrying a weapon, even though it's supposed to be so safe here.
It could have been a knife. Yeah, always a little bit of a shine.
The boy mentioned that if I carried weapons around, I would be inviting trouble.
That's
Whatever
what they
that
all-
means.
that's what they all say.
He's
Anyone
saying
who-
that you make people nervous, sir.
It's true.
Well, I assure you I can handle myself.
I understand. That's why you're here.
I'm not certain that that is what he's implying, is that you cannot handle yourself.
Yes.
I
Right.
think he was implying that you were making people nervous.
Oh, that's why I like him.
I realize I make people nervous, but that's part of the job.
Right.
Not a bad person for a lord to have in his company.
Let's
You
go
ask
before
me.
he throws these pots into, or he throws these plants into a pot and cooks
Alright.
the smell out of them.
Yeah,
If that is
let's.
the case, let us go and see what he is up to.
What do you fellers think about maybe the two of you and the lady here going and taking care of that while Tuck shows us where he thinks that feller was walking last night? I mean, I don't see why we got to be present for the Lord to have his wounds.
Unless you're planning to get your wounds taken care of.
Certainly, you've made
You
him.
may do as you please.
You soured his disposition last time you were there. No offense to you, but
It is what it is.
So 3 of you will go to the doctors, and 3 of you will go up the hill.
Yep.
Okay. Who's going to the doctors? Will you all walk together?
Mhm.
The other 3?
Yeah, we'll all walk and then we'll split off as.
Sure. Okay, for those who split off, you do find that there is kind of a path, a dirt path that leads past the mill house up into the tree line, up a kind of a steep hill. And kind of the path kind of winds its way back and forth with tall grasses along the way. But it is a clear dirt path.
I've never seen so many plants in all my life. Like so many trees, so many. I mean, it'd be hard to do in Lake Town.
Tell you what, this should be a bit of a difficult path to navigate. You know, even under a good moonlight. So, I mean, you know, I'm no expert tracker or anything, but I think that someone who's coming up here in the dark of night knows where they're going, knows what they're doing, and is probably doing it quite often. Fellers want to take a closer look.
You head up the path
We'll go for a little bit.
okay.
If you want to.
To the tree line at least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Okay. The 3 of you will trudge up the hill. Meanwhile, at the doctor's place, you rap on the door. Good morning, my lord, he says, kind of clearing his throat. You see that this morning he has not a neck ruff, but a kerchief, a cravat, kind of pulled up tight around his neck to hide his neck, or to cover his neck, his modesty. Good morning, my lord.
Good morning, Doctor.
He kind of affixes his golden buttons on his sleeves like perhaps he woke up late. He's buttoning his shirt, his waistcoat as you approach. Come in, please.
Thank you.
Tell me, how is your affliction?
Does he appear tired at all?
He's getting dressed.
Okay. It is early morning.
It is not early morning. It is 10 o'clock.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Talking
Some of you stayed up late last night. You did not wake at the ass crack of dawn. That's right.
As he ushers us into his place, I will close my eyes and smell deeply and as firmly as I can to see if I smell any mandrake root or nightshade or nightcap mushrooms, anything that would be picked at dark.
Genus Mandragora. Yes, in fact, 2 of the roots are resting within a clay pot.
It smells fresh.
Make a scrutinized or survival test.
I have a trait called 7 Sense where I automatically succeed survival tests using smell.
They have been freshly plucked. The screaming plant, as it is sometimes called, because it resembles a man or a woman because of the way the roots grow. And I said once you pluck them from the ground that they scream, and they can only be harvested at night. They are fresh.
I'll look over and nod.
Please, oh my goodness, he says, looking at your injuries. These are most dire, my lord.
I popped them like you said, and didn't say a word until morning.
He kind of walks over to a wash bin and quickly begins to administer treatment. You see him fretting a little bit as his hands don't shake, but he's kind of doing this nervously as he cleanses the wound and says, "How was your head? Your stomach?"
I mean, there is a pain, but it hurts kind of all over near the wound. About
he places a plate. He puts a set of spectacles on and kind of flips over what looks almost like a jeweler's lens, and he kind of let me see your fingertips. Oh my, jaundiced, yellow. Yes, you are bilious, my lord. You must be leeched.
Oh. Okay.
This treatment is not inexpensive, but I'm afraid it is absolutely necessary to see to your betterment.
Of course, and one must always seek to keep themselves healthy.
You there, Lord Knight. Yes, you. There is in the fire. I want you to bring me that iron poker.
That's Sir Harrison to you, as I walk over and
Yes, of course,
pick up the poker.
Sir Harrison. Yes, you. He says.
Is it like a hot poker that's been sitting in the fire?
Yes.
Okay.
That's gonna hurt.
He reaches over into his shelf and pulls out a jar of something, and he kind of shakes it. And as he pops the cork off, he rests the hot poker on top of the glass, and then suddenly the darkness inside of it starts to squirm. Leeches, river leeches, you see, awoken by heat.
Ooh.
He gives the poker back to you and says, "We must see to this. We must let your blood."
Oh, as you say, shall be done.
He nods. He will begin his bloodletting. What is your current damage condition track?
I am moderately wounded.
Moderately?
Yes.
I'm afraid that I must take my time with this if we have to see to anything. It will take a few hours.
Indeed.
To do this correctly and right.
Indeed, of course.
My lord,
Just so.
do you need your privacy? I can vacate the premises as necessary.
You can stay around if you like.
Very well.
Or you may go walk about and enjoy the village.
I would enjoy a nice walkabout this morning.
Perhaps we can see to our friends that we might keep them company.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison.
My lord, I'm worried, he says. He will tend to you for some time. You need to roll a routine heal test. It's a 64% chance. If you fail this, you lose 1% from brawn permanently. You have
64?
64.
Routine? Or
64% chance. It's your chance for success.
that is a 64 exactly.
But you had routine.
You're lying kind of prostrate, and he basically puts leeches on your wounds, and they will begin to leech the bad blood away. Therefore, your bloodletting clears the infection.
That does feel much better. Much better.
You don't know what these effects are. You're simply staving off. You're staving off actual sickness.
I didn't know if I actually could feel the pain going away at all or anything. Okay, then never mind.
Kind of a dull, aching, continuous pain all morning. It got worse and worse. So you're being attended to for 2 hours. Meanwhile, in the tree line, who in the tree line? Gaunter and Cole and Tuck.
Yep.
The dirt path is very, very clearly marked. This path has been trafficked quite a few times, and it splits in several places too. It almost resembles like an old hunting path. The trees kind of break here and there. You follow one of the branches of the road. Who's going to lead the way?
I think they call this the deer path? Does anybody know what they're doing out here?
Looks like a game trail that's been turned into a footpath by some of the locals, yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe they come up here to hunt.
Well, I'm going to say something out loud here, and I don't want to be the city fool who walks into the woods and never comes back. So we can still see where we're supposed to go back to. Does anyone know what they're actually doing? Because I don't track humans. I don't find paths or whatever. That is not my cup of tea.
Well, I've seen me lord do it from time to time. He actually has fun with this sort of thing.
We don't have him.
Well, no, we don't. But I've seen him do it.
So you can emulate him in doing this?
A bit.
What are you doing out here? You hear from somebody who's standing just up the road. This block of a man with a broad, single-edged woodsman's axe over his shoulder. This long, shaggy beard and this dark kind of clothing that appears to be stained with his own sweat.
We are on the Lord's work. What are you doing out here?
Me job. We'll see an axe in your hand.
That's because I don't swing an axe.
Then what are you doing here?
It's none of your business. I'm on the Lord's work.
He begins to lumber down the hill from the woods. As he grows closer, you can see that the man's face looks like it's been smashed in with an axe handle at some point. His nose is split.
Hello, my name's Tuck. What's yours?
Loeg.
Loeg. It's
You heard no hatcheting of trees out here at all. If this woodsman standing here.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Well, we're here surveying the land because we're from Old Lock, and we're not used.
Tuck, we don't have to explain ourselves to this man.
Well,
What are you doing out here? Because I don't see you chopping down trees.
You don't look like no lord to me. You look like a city bastard.
Well, you look like a country pumpkin. Why are we mixing words? I am on the Lord's work. The Lord of this land.
You ever heard of Lord Wesley Winterborne?
The Baroness's grandnephew.
grandnephew, yeah, that's it.
He kind of blinks for a moment, taking this in like he's spooling.
I know this is confusing, but we are supposed to be here, and I don't see you. If you're supposed to be out here swinging axes at trees, then the path does not help you either.
The estate is that way. He points along the other path.
Oh, excellent. Well, you are very helpful. They say everyone is very nice around here, and so far, especially nice. We have met such nice people. Thank you, Lumberman. We appreciate your service to the Lord.
He stares blankly.
So,
Immovable like a tree.
will you be going back to chop trees, or?
Will you be going to survey your lord's estate?
Yes, once we go get him. We're trying to figure out where we're at.
He nods and stands there.
Excellent.
What's on up this path here, fella?
Trees.
That's it?
More trees.
So, I mean, it's obviously more than a simple game trail. Do folks come out here and forage, or?
Are you a hunter?
I've been on a few hunts.
You look like one.
Well, that's because I don't hunt for trade.
Where's your bow?
I have one right
I don't
here.
carry a bow. I carry a knuckle duster.
That's not...
As he obviously has it, like he's wearing it the wrong way. like,
Well,
like
if you're
he
looking to hunt game, you're hunting game at the wrong time of the day. You've already missed them. It's already sunup.
Right.
We're not hunting game. We've already explained our duties. I still don't understand yours. Are you the path watcher, or
This is my fucking woods.
these are not your woods? These are the Lord's woods. That is actually true.
He stands there immovable. He does not break a smile or a sweat. He simply stands there.
Your conversation, you are great at conversation, I can tell. So we will be going. It is very nice to meet you again. What was your name?
Loag.
Loag. No surname, Loag. So
Nope.
Loag of the woods, of the wood path. The man who doesn't actually chop lumber. Got it.
Ta-ta, as I'll continue to go further down the path.
Will you go up the opposite path or up the path he's on?
I will. Okay, in that case, ta-ta, as I'll try and go the way we were originally going.
It was toward him.
Yeah, toward him.
He holds a broad hand out. No lord, no pass.
No lord, no pass. What is going on in the woods?
These aren't your woods. You got a hunter's license? There's no reason to be in the woods unless you're hunting.
Do you have a magistrate license to restrict people from going into the woods?
It's my woods.
These are not your woods. Where is your deed of sale to show me that these are your woods?
Everyone knows that I'm the woodsman.
Everyone knows. No one has told us you are the woodsman. But we'll talk to Dennis when we get back, and we will ask about you and your woods.
He nods. Okay.
For a woodsman, you're not doing a lot of swinging of an axe, but as you said, let's leave.
Well, that was a brisk walk.
I guess the woodsman who protects his woods. Everything seems so odd here. Are these people just strange to you?
At some point or another, Sir Harrison and Kilgore, or Sir Harrison finds his way. Who was with Sir Harrison and, my apologies,
we're going to be walking back that way.
They find their way. You find your way kind of on the edge of the edge of the wood up that path. The man is gone from sight.
Seems the Lord's condition is more dire than we thought. He's undergoing surgery at the moment. It may be a few hours.
Well, we know which way the barony is, or the house. There was also a woodsman that won't let us go.
Hold on a second.
What? I'm sorry.
Let you go? I'm sorry?
Hold on a second here. You left Lord Wesley by himself with that old quack?
Oh, he's harmless.
Well, there's quite a bit that we don't know about this feller, and as of this morning, we were still highly suspicious of him. Do you think that it's in our best interest, or the Lord's best interest, to leave him there all by his lonesome?
Well,
I mean, this is a feller who we think could be on Downing's payroll.
that may be, but we have it on several people's witness that those two are the only ones in the house. So if anything, any quackery is going on, then he's got how many witnesses against him?
Yeah, but I think the point he's making is if anything were to go on, it still would happen to our Lord.
We might need to get back to Lord Wesley. Very well.
We aren't far. I can tell you one thing for certain is that he was, perhaps among other things, but was certainly picking roots and herbs in the middle of the night last night. I'm certain of that.
Well,
He had fresh herbs that can only be cut at night in his pot this morning. So whatever other task he was on about that one, which would explain the knife, by the way.
So he might have been on the up and up last night, but we definitely know this man is on the take.
well,
I'm not so sure now.
No,
if
I'm 100% sure.
If that's what he was doing, that's wonderful. And if you lots want to go and explore the woods, you can have a wonderful time and say hi to Loag for us.
He is the woodsman.
Yes, the woodsman.
And these are his woods.
Yeah.
I think Wesley would love to meet this one.
Oh, we'll sort him out in due time.
I don't need any mandrake, but we can see the doctor's house from here. We are not far.
That is true.
It does not take you long until you return, and a few hours have already passed, and you're feeling better. Your wounds still ache, but the pain is mostly gone.
Any instructions for today, Doctor?
Bandages,
Bandages.
he says, as he will continue his work very briskly this time. What's your damage condition track?
I am moderately wounded.
Standard, so it's going to be a 54% chance.
54. That's a 50.
Nice. You have one step on the damage condition track.
My fine, esteemed physician.
Who's a doctor?
No. A physica, actually. If you see my
Your certificate.
certificate, it is from Chandering, if you recall. You know,
Physica versus a doctor. I don't know. I don't know the difference. So.
Tis the same if you are, depending on where you're from. A physica is the actual old word for doctor. You see, he smiles. You see, he has wooden dentures.
Do you know this Loag?
Oh yes, surly old type. He's the gameskeep.
He's the gameskeep.
Indeed, he and Sir Jameson St. James keep this hamlet safe. End quote.
Sir Jameson St. James.
Indeed.
Sir!
And quite the pair, the two.
Are they? Is Sir Jameson James as prickly as this Loag?
Oh goodness, no. He's quite an upright standing gentleman. But the two of them do make a rather odd pair. Odd pairing.
Yeah, Loag is not he's not a kind man.
Yeah, we call him Sir Splitnose beneath our breath.
Is he a sir also?
Oh goodness, no. He just walks around as Sir Jameson St. James, so perhaps he fancies himself one. Nay, he's the gameskeep. He keeps the wood. He keeps the animals. He's the one who keeps poachers away.
You obviously knew we weren't poachers.
Did he?
Do we look like poachers?
Well, you're certainly outsiders, he says. No offense, of course.
I do happen to have a hunting bow.
But do you have a license, he says.
Not yet.
Well, Lord Wesley could certainly issue you one.
If only I had a writing kit.
Well, I can help solve that, but let's not dilly on that.
I didn't think you hunters.
No.
Your Lord Wesley is now fit as a fiddle! He slaps his back.
Yes, thank you, Doctor.
So we make our way.
I think if we can find Ernst and the carriage, perhaps get a ride out to the... Is it possible to take a carriage to the manor home?
Goodness, no. Most of the woods are overgrown. You just need to go up the path that way. He kind of walks you outside, up toward the woods where you saw Loag, but don't go right. Take the left-handed path. That's where you go. Right.
And how brisk was? I'm sorry.
No.
Oh! 3 hours at best.
No.
Okay.
Good hike. Make sure you have your water skins filled.
Before we leave, could I flatter you for a moment?
Certainly, yes.
I am something of a gardener myself, and I could not help but notice that is fresh mandrake root that you have cut.
Genus Mandragora, yes.
What a fascinating plant. I did not realize that it would grow this far north. Where do you possibly grow it?
Oh, goodness. There are places in the woods that are exposed just right to the mirror. And when the moon is right, in the conditions as well, perhaps as in this season, the root is ripe to pick, to pluck. And that is when I go out there. He walks over to his table and he pulls out a silver sickle. a shining sickle. What you saw last night. This must be it.
I'll look at them and like make eye contact and then look back.
And this right here is what you use for the mandrake roots. You see, when you pluck it from the ground, it screams.
Truly.
Indeed.
Truly, he does not deceive.
The mandrake root is a deliriant of most potency.
Oh, I never.
I took a bit of it with me from, but it is not nearly as potent when it is not fresh, and it is possible to get fresh mandrake root where we are from.
Every poison, in rendered right, is a potion. Or, a medicine. You flip that around, yes. It's the right amount of mandrake root with a common alkalest, rel okay, and opium. That, my friends, is how you render a healing paste.
You grow poppies here then as well.
I do grow poppies indeed, yes, but, well, my study is a bit more esoteric.
I can appreciate that.
Do you want to hear about a skill where I could heal?
No.
I don't think so.
Thank you.
The trash pandas, you called them. What are
He
these
arches a
creatures?
brow.
You
The raccoons.
What do you call them? Trash pandas.
Oh, 'tis a thing they say in the South.
Ah.
To Gothric.
Thank you for indulging my curiosities.
He nods and smiles. Of course, and Lord Wesley, should you happen to
What do I owe you for today's session?
take a spill, certainly come to me. I am the foremost physica in all of Dunhallow.
Indeed, it seems that certificate is well deserved.
Yes. Yes, it is, he says.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Oh, a paltry sum. Oh, I'm consulting my book. The paltry sum he speaks of is I had it here and then I missed it here.
Yeah, I was like, pretty
You
sure I
wrote
looked
the
it up
book.
earlier.
What's the page number now?
I should know this. It's funny because I've been thinking about actually pulling this out into a separate
3 shilling.
table.
I thought it was a couple shilling, yeah. I just couldn't remember how much.
No, it is 3 shilling indeed. A barber surgeon's visit.
Alright. I'll give and how much was for the bandage?
He took it for 3 shilling.
Okay, everything for 3 shilling?
Yeah. My lord, you are most generous, he says as he takes his required takes the pay.
For such skill, it seems like I got the deal.
My mother would disagree about my hands, but yes, I am the foremost physician
Yes.
in all of Dunhallow. So should you befall the trappers, don't wander off in the woods. I'm just saying that I've treated more than one child of a aching leg or a broken hand because they wandered off amid the wood.
Would they fall?
Trappers, bears, you see.
Bears.
Oh, yes. There are many of them in the wood. In particular, should one follow the river just so to the path to the right, well, there is a small family of bears out there. We set the Loeg sets bear traps to keep them away from the village. Fortunately, it has done most good. However, and so often the mother bear will wander amid the Dunhallow. 'Tis best to simply lock your doors and shutter your windows. She will go away by the time the sun's up.
Yes.
No.
Well, I mean, don't you always lock your doors and shutter your windows?
Goodness, no, why would you do that?
So nobody... Yeah, very well.
Yes, you will know them by sight.
Not since we
Great
come around
red
anyway.
pelts, these bears.
Great red pelts. Huh, that'd be nice.
Call her Mother Red.
Do you brave these bears in order to gather your herbs? That seems quite dangerous, especially at night.
I would never go on my own.
Who did you go with last night?
Oh?
Yeah, you
Bears
picked
are fresh.
Earth, yes.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, with Loeg, of course. Knows these woods like the back of his hand.
Oh.
Man knows these lands better than anyone else around here.
Well, maybe Lord Winterborne can make fast friends with Lowered. He's
Look,
quite charming, he is.
Well, if he's keeping my woods safe, then I would like to thank the man.
We must
My
keep
Lord
you
Wesley, a bit of parting advice.
Mhm.
Excuse my flatulence. A bit of parting advice. Hear me out. We certainly appreciate that you have come.
Mhm.
There's no doubt about that. The barony is, well, for better or worse, the Baroness is sick. But do take care. These people do not know you or your name.
Indeed.
Your title, although it is truly a title, may not earn you friends around here. They are a suspicious people.
I can understand that,
And
but
do not take kindly to travelers, particularly ones armed as such. He looks toward your waist.
indeed, if I was on the road and I had come across some armed as such, I would be very cautious. But well.
Strongly suspect you will attract the attention of the sheriff soon enough.
Oh, well, good. I should like to meet him. Actually, I believe maybe perhaps in a few days I will gather up the elders of the community and formally introduce myself.
He smiles and nods.
Or for you to work together in the future for many years, hopefully fruitfully to come. Then we should all hopefully get off on good terms.
Of course, I would expect nothing less. My lord. He nods.
Doctor, thank you. Let us go.
We must away. Much to do.
Let's take a quick pause here.
Okay.
Let's do a 10-minute pause.